Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, you probably noticed something a little bit different. I did change up the background because the light was not cooperating, and I try to give you guys the best experience I possibly can when I'm outside of my main control room. So, bear with me, let me know if that's okay, and hopefully we can move forward together on this. But this is a great content video. This is important, guys. This is crucial. There was a Chicago ring of guns that was just discovered at, surprise, surprise, a mass shooting. But we all know what that really was. It was a gang shooting because it occurred at a party and in remembrance of another shooting victim, in which case a gun battle ensued. Now, that's not the important part. We've covered that stuff. What's the important part? Well, there were guns recovered at that scene, and through the actual existing laws and the existing jurisdictions of law enforcement, they traced it back to the source and they figured something out and captured the criminals on both ends. And we're going to discuss that in depth because I think this is something that a lot more people need to talk about, that the existing laws worked on these firearms, and that is crucial. So let me know what you guys think of this content in the comments field below, because I love hearing your thoughts. And on a personal note, I know I got some sun on my face and you guys were amazing, giving me some crap about getting sunburned and, you know, recommending some amazing options for suntan lotion and all that stuff. So I love you guys. That's one of my favorite things about you guys is I feel like we're a little bit closer than it is a YouTube audience, but it's amazing and thank you. So now let's dive right into this, okay? Everything is linked in the description box below as always. Okay, so there was a Chicago gun ring, and I'm going to put it on the screen right now, okay? So Chicago gun trafficking scheme targeted additional Fort Campbell soldiers, the feds say. Okay, so when you see that article, it kind of piques the interest. There's like, wait, there's a gun trafficking scheme, that's interesting, but it's out of Chicago, and that's where it gets really, really fascinating. Let me catch up. When Chicago police found numerous guns at a mass shooting crime scene in the Wrightwood neighborhood in late March, it led authorities to U.S. Army soldiers running what they call a gun pipeline from Fort Campbell in Kentucky to Chicago. So what they discovered was there were soldiers in Kentucky that were running guns into Chicago and selling them illegally on the black market. Now I've got more evidence of this, and this is really, really important because this is how it kind of showcases criminals don't obey gun laws, and those that violate the laws get caught. And this is important. This is a big piece of the gun argument, okay? Now let's go into the next one. Federal law enforcement authorities say the trio charged in the conspiracy purchased at least 90 guns which were sold and sent to Chicago. So what they did was called a straw purchase. They bought it under their own names, which were clean and everything was okay, and they sent it off and they sold it to other parties, which would be the end user of the gun. That's called a straw purchase. That's extremely illegal. That's big time federal prison. Existing gun law. Now, here's a little red flag that you guys should watch out for when you hear stories like this, because this is where it gets interesting, and this is reading a little bit deeper as to the why that we're always talking about on this channel. A pop-up party in a storefront in memory of a victim of gun violence ended on March 26 with dozens of shots fired, leaving 1 dead and 7 wounded. Police and federal firearms agents found guns on the scene that were traced by the ATF lab to recent purchases in Clarksville, Tennessee area gun stores. They've been traced the guns to soldiers. So the ATF actually researched where the serialized guns came from, and they found it, and they went to that area, and then they backtracked in and they found the criminals. This is incredibly important. That's a good thing to look for, that it's actually working, because it gives you an argument that the gun, not controls, but the gun laws that are in place are actually working, and they're getting these people who are breaking further gun laws and causing more mayhem and funding more mayhem off the streets. But here's where it all ties together, and this is the important piece. Listen to the next quote. The guns allegedly trafficked by the 3 soldiers charged were sold at a 60% markup for $1,700 per pistol during sales to Chicago buyers, a federal agent testified in court Friday. $1,700 on a pistol, 60% markup. Okay, so here's the question, and this is where it gets important. Why would somebody pay $1,700 for a pistol when it's a 60% markup when they could just go to the gun store and buy the gun? The answer is because they were criminals. They are willing to pay a higher premium because they illegally smuggled firearm trafficked in under a straw purchase into a city in which they knew they would not be able to get the guns, and it was not illegal for them to own that firearm. So they paid the illegal premium. A similar concept would be under drugs. If marijuana were legal in the United States, it would probably be around the price of a cigarette, but because it's more illegal, then you got more of a risk, and people can actually go out and get in jail for it. So you're going to pay more of a premium. Any other illicit material, other different types of crime that are very prevalent in the United States, all of these things have a higher premium because they're illegal. If this gun buyer, all these people who were taking part in the gun ring, and they were the end user in Chicago, if they could buy guns legally, they would have been $400 or $500. Why would you not do that? Because it's illegal. And this goes back to the point, more gun control does not affect criminals because they still got guns because some other people broke the law further. They got caught. The point of my video here is not to say that gun laws are horribly horrendous, and I'm not saying that gun control is amazingly good. What I'm saying is the existing laws that were in place to prevent these kind of things worked. The people who were smuggling the guns and doing straw purchases got caught, and they're going to federal prison. The people who were buying the guns for $1,700 a pop, they're also going to prison because they're owning guns that were purchased by somebody else. The existing background checks would have stopped them from owning a gun. The point here, guys, is this is a system that is enabled to work. It just takes time to allow it to work properly. And that's what I want to bring to the table here. Not the fact that we should have no legislation whatsoever, and not the fact that we should have more gun control. It's not about that. What it is about is the fact that the existing laws that were in place were superseded by criminals wanting to pay more to get around the laws. You can't stop human behavior if they want to break laws. But the laws that were in place stopped the stem of the guns, and that's a big deal. That's what I've got for you today, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I'll see you tomorrow.